Okay, this is our last and final story. Now, I've always been a PlayStation guy. Always. I had a PlayStation 1, a PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 3. I bought a PlayStation 4, but I never played it because that's whenever I started working and yeah. Anyways, I still own 3 PlayStation 3s, 2 PlayStation 1s, and 2 PlayStation 2s. They are all near and dear to my heart. And the PlayStation 3, I believe, is like the pinnacle of like older game stations. Mainly because the game choices on a PlayStation 3 are absolutely epic. You want to play Fallout New Vegas? $4 on eBay. No joke. I literally bought it. I bought the disc. You want to play Bioshock 1? Same thing. $3 to $4 on eBay. Just the disc. You can get the art cover, but it's going to cost you more. But I just buy the disc because I like quantity over quality. But whatever. You want to play Skyrim? Go right ahead. You can also play PlayStation 1 games on a PlayStation 3. Yes, you heard that right. You can play PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 1 games on a PlayStation 3. Now, there are the very coveted PlayStation 3s that can play PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games. But those games, systems, are pretty rare. And they go for a decent little penny. Now, if you a true connoisseur like moi, you probably have one. But for the average person out there, a PlayStation 3 to me is plainly awesome. It's offline. It's games that you can play all day, every day. Wireless controller, charging controller. Not only that, I bought some knockoff controllers from eBay. Now, again, I use this system offline, so I ain't got to worry about nothing. But they were literally $3 a piece it was $6 for 2 controllers. Now, I've been using these controllers for months. They're a little bit lighter. They don't feel as polished as the real ones. I have like 2 real controllers, and I've bought, I think, 4 knockoff controllers because they were such a good deal. I mean, they good controllers. I'm just saying. Anyways, this is 5 clever uses for your old PlayStation 3. And again, I don't know. The first use, watch DVDs on the old PlayStation 3. Now, most people don't realize a PlayStation 3 is a Blu-ray player, or it plays regular DVDs, Blu-ray DVDs, every DVD you would want. You can pop in that daggum thing and it'll play. Now, I bought a DVD player a year ago, I think. Come to find out, it was not a Blu-ray player. I just dusted off one of my PlayStations. I was like, why did I even buy a DVD player? I didn't want to stress the lens inside of my PlayStation 3s because I want to keep them in good shape. But you know what? If you don't really care about that and it's in good working order, they going to play anything you pop in there. So yeah, you could watch DVDs on your PlayStation 3. Even though digital streaming service has proven popular, people may be less interested in a progressing physical. People might be less interested in procuring. Oh, it is procuring. Oh, he's a mighty. That just shows my train of thought here. Procuring physical media, you might still have some old DVDs and Blu-rays lying around. Like saying the Harry Potter movies. They literally go on to Harry Potter, huh? People, like Harry Potter, I guess, is good, but like, find a good go-to movie. Find like a good indie movie or something. If you in the market for a good indie movie to watch, I recommend the movie They Live. It's old, it's got good parts in it. It's a good movie, I'm telling you. I've gotten at least 30 people to watch that movie. Some of them hated me. Some of them was like, oh, that's a really good movie. But I'll be honest with you. I go to pawn shops all the time. I got the total, I got the first and fourth season of Stargate Atlantis for $2 a box set. So for $4, I got the first and fourth season of Stargate Atlantis. Also got the entire series of Babylon 5, the entire series, the whole box sets, everything, DVDs, everything. I think it was like $12 for the entire series. What else? I got the entire series of Star Trek Enterprise, you know, the one with Archer and T'Pol and all that stuff. I got that for, I want to think, less than $18 for the entire series on DVD, even the plastic boxes that it comes in and everything. So if you go to pawn shops, a lot of them, especially in the last like 3 years, are trying to dump DVDs full sale. Now, my go-to pawn shops don't have DVDs anymore, sadly. But every pawn shop I get to go into, I go straight to the DVD section if they got it. Because there's some awesome stuff there. And you know, the pirates gotta have stuff to get. So yeah. Anyways, if you can put it out there, you know. Although the PlayStation 3 is mainly used as a gaming console, it can do it all as long as you are willing to hook it up. Note that it may not be perfect since the console does require occasional updates to ensure smooth playback, meaning that after the date of manufacture, normally like a year or two after the date of manufacture, whatever PlayStation 3 you have, you won't be able to play the DVDs or Blu-ray because something to do with copyright. They changed the code or whatever on the DVDs. Now you can hook it to the internet and get that update. But if you're going to do the last option on this list, you got to have a PlayStation 3 before a certain update, which means this PlayStation 3, for the last thing they got on this list, which is an emulator for different games and stuff, you can't use this PlayStation. You can only use the fat version, which is the original, and then the second version, which is this one right here, for an emulator. Now, this one right here, they changed the code that's hardwired in the PlayStation to where you can't do that, to my understanding. So if you want an emulator, you got to use the old original FATs or this slim right here, because this one will not work. Turn it into a media server. Now, I'm not 100% on this one because I've never used a PlayStation 3 as a media server, because you got to have all that media. You know what I mean? I'm noticing I got 0 drop frames on my thing, but I'm noticing it zero out every now and then, and I just can't help but wonder what is getting in and out and everything. Now I'm seeing 0 drop frames everywhere. I'm gonna have to look after everything is completed to know 100%, but I don't know, man. Anyways, turn it into a media server. If you need a low cost media server, 100%, man. You could put any SATA drive you got in there, as long as it's the slim version, SSDs, whatever. And then, of course, they got plenty of USB ports, so you can run that too. Emulate games on your PlayStation 3. Now, again, if you're going to go through this, you need to do your own research, but you can't use this one right here. You can only use the original old ones and this one right here if you're going to do it as an emulator for other games. So, besides using the consoles or PlayStation 3 games, you can do some advanced emulating with it. It requires installing firmware, which essentially jailbreaks your PlayStation 3, similar to converting it into a media center. After you've installed the CFW, you'll want to install a retro art which controls your wish, blah 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 blah. Open the retro art, blah blah blah. Nothing if you're not on. Nintendo 64 titles aren't great on it, blah blah blah. I don't know. It's saying it's aging hardware. We all aging. We all are aging. Stream Netflix shows. Yep, like honestly, you could probably use it as like a cable box. Personally, I would suggest newer hardware like a PlayStation 4, maybe a 5, or a Roku. But if you want a DVD player and media streamer all in one, go ahead, I guess. As long as they're getting updates for security and stuff. So, yeah, go for it. It's probably a nice, stable platform to do that from. Salvage your PlayStation 3 for parts. Well, this makes me sad. But if it ain't working, it's for the best, honestly. Got to keep these old systems running as long as possible. If you don't know what to do with your old PlayStation 3, you can find out that many not worth selling. You can always try salvaging it for spare parts. Remember that PlayStation 3 console still has a mini computer inside. You can open and keep the components, including the hard drive, to use for other projects. Unfortunately, the built-in Blu-ray player is attached to the console. If your PlayStation 3 is running, like, it's best to keep it as a DVD player, if nothing else. To be completely honest with you, it doesn't make sense to break it down for parts for me, because most PlayStation 3s, if it's stock, has only a 250 gigabyte HDD drive. It's not even an SSD drive. So it's really limited in its uses. I mean, I guess if you in a pinch, but you ain't got to break it down to get the hard drive out. You just got to have to do one screw in the front of it, you know? I don't know though. But again, we need to keep these old systems running as long as possible. We ain't going to get a second chance of getting them. And I would prefer them collecting dust in the closet than getting broke down for parts, though, especially if they still working. And if they not working, maybe go to a retro gaming store and just, donate it for the poor. They might need it. All right. Well, I see my internet dropping from time to time, and I need to check the quality. So I'm going to call it for today. And I'll see you tomorrow.